Commander Vexthor stood in the salvage yard of Station Kepler 442, his four eyes scanning the derelict human vessel with undisguised contempt. The ship was a relic, barely 50 cycles old, yet it looked ancient compared to the sleek Confederation cruisers that dominated the galaxy's trade routes. "Take it," the station master said, all three of his mouths forming synchronized grins. "The humans abandoned it here 6 months ago. Couldn't pay the docking fees. Consider it compensation for your patience." Vexthor's mandibles clicked in irritation. He had been waiting 3 weeks for proper payment. 3 weeks of his cargo ship sitting idle while bureaucrats shuffled data tablets. This rusted human scrap heap was an insult, but at least it was something. "It's useless, of course," the station master continued, gesturing with a tentacle at the vessel's scorched hull. "Primitive chemical propulsion system. The reactor is intact, but the fuel cells are depleted. The jump drive burned out years ago. Honestly, you'd be better off selling it for parts. The hull plating alone might fetch a few credits." Vexthor approached the ship, his scaled feet crunching on the debris-strewn deck. The name was still visible on the hull, barely. Persephone's gift. Humans and their mythology. They named everything after their old gods and stories, as if words could protect them in the cold vacuum of space. The airlock groaned open at his touch, unlocked, unsecured, abandoned. Inside, the corridors were dark and smelled of stale, recycled air. Emergency lighting flickered to life as he walked, revealing walls covered in human writing. Maintenance logs, crew schedules, handwritten notes that spoke of homesickness and hope. Vexthor made his way to the engineering bay. The reactor hummed at minimal power, enough to keep life support functioning but little else. He ran a diagnostic scan with his handheld device. The station master was right. The fuel cells were empty, the jump drive was slag, and the chemical thrusters had maybe 1 or 2 burns left in them, but then his scanner picked up something else. The fuel reservoir, the massive tank that should have contained the volatile chemical compounds humans used for their antiquated propulsion, was full. Not with fuel, but with something else. Something dense. Something valuable. Vexthor's pulse quickened as he descended to the lower deck. The reservoir chamber was sealed behind a heavy door marked with warnings in 6 languages. He overrode the lock and stepped inside. The tank dominated the room, a cylindrical structure 3 stories tall. Through the viewing port, he could see it was filled with a silvery liquid that seemed to shimmer with its own internal light. His scanner went wild, unable to properly classify the substance. He accessed the ship's logs, scrolling through the final entries of Captain Maria Rodriguez. His translator struggled with some of the idioms, but the meaning was clear enough. Day 187. We're not going to make it home. The jump drive is gone, and we're 3 sectors away from the nearest human outpost. The crew knows, I know, but we made a choice. Day 203. Dr. Chen figured it out. We can't use the fuel to get home, there's not enough, and the thrusters are failing anyway. But we can use it for something else. Something that matters. Day 221. The conversion is complete. We've transformed the entire fuel supply. It took everything we had. Every spare part, every ounce of energy, every moment of the crew's expertise. It's beautiful. It's hope. Day 223, we're evacuating to Station Kepler 442. The ship is useless as a vessel now, but its cargo, that's something else. We've left instructions in the reservoir computer. Whoever finds this, use it well. Humanity's gift to the galaxy. Vexthor accessed the reservoir computer. The instructions were detailed, precise, and utterly staggering. The humans had converted their fuel, highly refined hydrocarbons extracted at enormous expense from gas giants, into something else entirely. Medical nanites. Billions upon billions of self-replicating medical nanites. The silver liquid wasn't liquid at all, but a suspension medium for the most advanced medical technology Vexthor had ever seen. The documentation showed treatments for dozens of diseases, regeneration protocols for catastrophic injuries, even genetic repair sequences that could reverse generational damage from radiation exposure. The specifications indicated the nanites were compatible with most carbon-based life forms. They were designed to be distributed freely, reproduced indefinitely, and required no proprietary technology to deploy. Open source, unpatented, a gift. Vexthor stood in silence, his 4 eyes reflecting the silver shimmer of the reservoir. He thought about the Confederation, about the pharmaceutical corporations that charged fortunes for basic treatments, about the colonies that went without medicine because they couldn't afford it. He thought about the humans who had crewed this ship. They could have used that fuel to try for home. Even with failing thrusters, they might have made it to a closer station, might have survived. Instead, they had chosen to transform their only means of escape into something that could save others. Take the spaceship. It's useless, the station master had said. Vexthor began to laugh, a clicking, rasping sound that echoed through the empty chamber. The ship was useless, useless as a weapon, useless as a cargo hauler, useless as transportation. But the reservoir... He activated his communicator. This is Commander Vexthor to Station Kepler 442. I need a priority channel to the Confederation Medical Council, immediately. Commander? The station master's voice crackled back. Have you decided to scrap the vessel? No, Vexthor said, placing one clawed hand against the reservoir tank. Through the metal he could feel a faint vibration, as if the nanites inside were already eager to fulfill their purpose. I'm going to make sure everyone knows what it contains. He pulled up the crew manifest from the ship's database. 15 names, 15 humans who had sacrificed everything. Captain Maria Rodriguez, Dr. James Chen, Engineer Paulo Santos. He read each name aloud, committing them to memory. In the years that followed, the medical nanites from the Persephone's gift would save millions of lives across hundreds of worlds. The technology would be refined, improved, and distributed freely throughout the galaxy, just as the humans had intended, and on every medical facility that deployed the nanites. A plaque would bear 15 names and a simple inscription, humanity's gift to the stars, from those who gave everything. The ship itself remained in the salvage yard, a useless hull with an empty reservoir, but what had been inside changed the galaxy forever, because that was what humans did. When they had nothing left, they gave anyway.